Hi, I'm comedian Lunga Chuka, the Energizer Funny, streaming live with my special guest on the Price of Fame podcast. We feature entertainment professionals on the show and find out what sacrifices were made to reach their level of success. Look forward to learning about how our guests have overcome mental health challenges, achieved success breakthroughs, what you need to know about the industry, and how you know when you actually have a talent that needs to be shared with the world. Take these episodes as your personal mentorship guidance on how to be a successful entertainer. We chat to those who have made it in South Africa and abroad. Let's make the SA entertainment industry the most supported by locals, because local talent is liquor talent. Subscribe now to keep up to date. You can also find us on all social platforms. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of The Price of Fame. This is episode 31 on season 2. Whew, let me catch my breath. My name is Lunga Chuka, and I'll be your host. And tonight's guest, ladies and gentlemen, weighing in 350 bars. He's got ammo for days, coming at you in 7 different languages. He's been in the game for 12 years as your best kept secret around. Ladies and gentlemen, he go by the name of, he's the infamous MC, killing it on all your radio stations and your ciphers. Please make some noises and welcome to the screen, Landrose.
Don't think there's anybody that's ever given me a better intro. Oh my gosh. I don't think there's anybody that's ever given me a better intro, bro. That was fire. Weighing in 355 bars. Yo, man, that was fire, man. That was fire. That was absolutely fire, man.
I'm glad you're happy. I'm glad you're happy, man. I worked on it. I was like, yeah, let me get this right, you know.
Hey, man, Stundy.
Much love and respect. First things first, brother. Thank you so much for agreeing to be a guest on the Price of Fame. Like I was just saying to you a few minutes ago that the first time I saw you, on social media, it was actually, in fact, the video Duck Duck Goose. That's the first time I saw, and then that went viral because I just woke up one day and I'm going on my Facebook, and then boom, everyone's sharing this, and everyone's like, watch out for this guy, who why aren't we celebrating our own? And I was like, what's going on, and I hit play. And first thing that hit me, what I appreciate is that I love your sound and your articulation. I was like, okay. And then I started, okay, let me listen to what he's saying. I was like, okay, homeboy is telling stories. I love a story, I'm a storyteller myself. And then you hit into vernac, bro. And then I was like, pause. I didn't expect that at all. I didn't expect that. So I do a little more research, and then I see homeboy has got more skills. He's coming at you with 7 different languages. I don't know who you are, what are you, what that you came from. But thank you for coming in this time to influence us in this time, my man. And we're here to listen to your stories. Thank you so much for being a guest on The Price of Fame. How are you doing this evening?
Oh man, now trust me. I think before the interview, I was doing pretty good, but now I'm great, man. I think after such an amazing intro, after such a discovery story, I feel like wow, okay, this is massive. So I'm amazing, man. I'm doing great actually. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, man. And like I said, the minute I saw all of that, I got to my team. I'm like, please get Landrose on. I want to have a conversation. I want to know who this guy is. He's on fire. I can't believe he's been around for so long. I feel bad for only coming out and seeing who he is right now, But the homie's on fire, So I really want to get to know who he is. So again, thank you for being on the show. Before we get
It's a
into our
pleasure.
question, so I got a couple of people, people. So with season two, we tried something a little different because we only used to have it on video streaming, right? So season two, we're doing audio streaming as well. And the platforms that we're using is Apple, Spotify, and Anchor FM. Now on Anchor FM, they have this really cool feature where people can, like fans, whoever can send in voice notes as a question to the show. So we have one voice note that came through. It's a question for you, but don't worry. We actually go through the voice notes first to make sure it's all about love and respect. So yeah, we got someone who's got a question for you. We're gonna play that and then kick into the questions that I got for you. Are you cool with that?
Awesome, man. Let's take it. Let's take it.
Pumi, cue it.
Hey, it's Michaela. I'd like to give a shout out to Lunga. My question for the artist is, what is your spiciest opinion on SA rappers that most people would disagree with?
Ooh.
Huh. Spiciest opinion about SE rappers that most people would disagree with. Um, I'd say right now there's absolutely no storytelling.
Yes.
There's not enough solid lyrical content. When I was growing up, I used to listen to rappers that would inspire me and motivate me to want to know how to write better and inspire me to try and read a lot more so I could be well informed. But nowadays, I listen to rappers and it's like there's absolutely nothing that I'm consuming. I'm just like, and then that's it. Like that's
Yeah,
literally it. So, so many people be like, but, nah, man. I'm not saying there's, I'm not saying there's, we don't have rappers that are storytelling. I'm saying they are not mainstream. They're not given enough platforms. But also, I don't want to make it um, the industry's responsibility to push these guys. I feel like the guys that actually do have stories to tell aren't pushing enough to get themselves in those positions. Because I feel like sometimes we get too entitled about, oh, the industry should open this for us. The industry should. Nobody owes us nothing, man. I could tell you right now, nobody owes me nothing. I'm trying to find 1,000 ways to to get myself onto every single platform so I could tell every single story that I have. So I think right now the only thing we need is to push harder. We do have solid people that can actually like take this country to a greater level, but I just feel like we are not pushing as hard as we think. We need to go harder. That's it.
yeah. No, I fully agree with what you said, man. I mean, and I love that. And that's also why I was drawn to you because I'm old school guy when it comes to hip hop. With my hip hop, I'm old school because I was introduced into hip hop in 2000. And then because I befriended the guys, and these guys were break dancers. So I
Mm,
started hanging with them, and they obviously with the breakdance introduced me to the music, and with the music, I learned about storytellers like Common, Talib Kweli, Most
mm,
Def, KRS-One, those were like proper MCs, Rakim and that. I was like, oh no, and they spoke about, black people, they spoke about the struggle, they spoke about the ghetto, they spoke about the hustle, and you learn through these stories. They spoke about the art, they spoke about
mm,
women, about so many different things, women empowerment
mm,
also not just parting with women, but also women
mm.
empowerment and women, with Tupac, with Dear Mama, and and I forgot the other one. What I know the beat. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, that one. Yeah, and all those things. How'd you do with rain to my mama? Got your name from my mama, got your rain, and all of that. I was like,
Hey.
damn. So those are like the storytellers, and then you come today and I was like, nah, you can't compare. And it's like you say, well, people be like, yeah, but he's got so many records and he's making so much money. It's like, yeah, but it's like from artist to artist, and we have an influence and somewhat we have some kind of, to some extent, we have a responsibility when we're speaking to the people, when we're reaching out to the people, because we have an influence, you know. So give people something that's going to lift them up or make them happy, or educate people, like you say, educate yourself, educate people, your art.
Mm.
So having
Yes.
those purposes and just playing around, and I don't know what I'm getting from you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like it's just the beat that I'm feeling there. It's nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So then.
come to think of it, like I think the guys I used to listen to, and I'm a very modern person, by the way. It's not like I'm old school, like I'm an old school hip hop. Nah, I'm very modern. I grew up to your Lil Wayne, Kanye West, J. Cole, Drake,
Yeah,
very modern guys. But it's like
yeah,
these guys still have a lot to say. If you actually listen to them, these guys, your Eminem, these guys literally, like they legit had a lot to say. And the way they would put this puzzle together was just insanely amazing, man. Always, it's like you always had to go do some research about what Lil Wayne said, about what J.
yeah,
Cole said, about what
yeah,
what Drake said. What does he mean by such and such? It's like it really helped me to grow a lot more and find interest in reading, paying attention to what people speak. So even when I watch a soapy on TV, I'm no longer just watching the entertaining content only. I am reading the subtitles. That's what I'm mostly interested in right now. And it's like you see that trains you how to think. And it's like even as a listener, hip hop. What I noticed with hip hop, you got to be a fast listener to be able to grasp everything they say, and
yeah,
also process everything quicker. So it's like the more you listen, the more you read, the more your mind just functions in a smart way, fast way. Like you just become an awesome individual, and it's a lot more beneficial if you're an artist yourself because you grow with that, and that becomes part of you. So I
yeah.
think I've taken so much from their influence, and yeah, man. Today I'm just talking to people based off of what I used to consume. Now somebody's listening to me, and they probably feeling inspired too.
Yes, definitely, bro.
Yeah.
So I mean, 7 languages. What? What the hell, even? I would love to hear and love to understand the journey behind these languages, because I know it's not easy. You don't just learn these languages easy. There's a story behind all of these things. So, like, I would love to know, how did you get into 7 languages, brother?
So how this happened is I think I've just always been, fascinated by different cultures and also just trying my best to understand what people are saying. Doesn't matter what language you speak. I think I'm just fascinated by finding out like what does he mean by or what does she mean by 1, 2, 3. I always want to know. I'm not always trying to be like, oh well, I couldn't hear it. I always want to know like what are you saying? Because it'll definitely work to my advantage at some point. I'm not trying to go to a certain place where I don't understand nobody and I'm comfortable with that. No,
Yeah,
I need to understand what people are saying. And also what I've grown to realize is it's very beneficial. I'll make a quick example, non-music related. When you go to a certain company, maybe you get to be employed. There's certain requirements there's certain requirements that need you to be able to probably speak a different language, like your Afrikaans, or speak Zulu at least, or speak Pedi at least. I remember I once applied for the magistrate interpreter, and then they needed you to be able to speak certain languages. It's like you need to be able to obviously English will be part of it. You need to speak Zulu. You need to speak Pedi. So it's like wherever it's located, if maybe it's in Tembisa, and most Tembisa people speak like Sotho, Zulu, Xhosa, and if you know those languages, you stand a higher chance at getting hired and adding English, of course. And it's like it's not even that deep. So it's like this can actually work to your advantage. You just need to empower yourself and not be comfortable with saying, "Aye, what are they saying?" Nah, doesn't work like that. So I think now having realized that made me also understand that the hip hop space in South Africa is way too little. The hip hop scene is way too little in South Africa. So if you're trying to win a broader audience, you need to figure out a way to do it without limiting yourself. And understanding that I want to tap into Eastern Cape, I want to tap into Limpopo, I want to tap into KZN, I want to tap into whatever it is. You know, it's like you need to understand what people are saying. How do you cater for these people when you can't even hear them? So it's like, I'm not asking you to be a genius, but it's like, try to learn as many languages as you can in your country so that it could benefit you, because there's plenty of ways you can use it. Now, when I started using those languages, I started getting fans from different places all over the country. I have people saying, yo, man, shout out for what you did in Zonga. Yo, man, shout out for what you did in Xhosa. Now people, when they listen to me, they can't wait to hear their language in the song. So I'm like, that's super interesting to find out. And it's like, now it works to my advantage. I feel like I came with this print, and now I'm just like sticking to it. That's it. That's it.
Dude, I mean, I feel like it's really what makes you absolutely like stand out from all of our rappers. Yes, and rest in peace to Double HP, you know, and people like who also does vernac, you know, and bringing vernac and kind of languages. But like, I mean, the way that you bringing it in, you know, and it flows so easily, and it's like, and like you don't even go into another language, like, oh snap, okay, we you know, and then so smoothly, and then one word in English, and like, yeah, man, and then bring it back, oh snap, okay, we're there now, and like, it's just going, and I feel like I'm traveling while I'm listening to you. It's like you're touching different parts of Africa, and that is so amazing. And like, are there other languages that you feel like you want to add to your caliber, you know, that you want to maybe learn as well? Like, I don't know, outside of Africa.
Of course, man. Of course. If I've been posting some videos even on my social media pages. Yo, man, there's a lot. I've tapped into Spanish as well. I've tapped into Italian. So it's like it's such a process, because it's like you're not going to learn all these things over time. And I feel like it would have been a lot easier if I had someone to engage with on a daily basis so that it stays in my mind. Because sometimes you learn something and then you'll know it. Next week, you probably forgot. You're like, it means repetition is the father of this whole thing. Repetition is the father of this whole thing. So it's like right now, I'm teaching myself to actually repeat every single thing that I learn, but also find people to engage with so that it stays in my head. So I'm adding a whole lot of languages, man. I'm not going to limit myself. Even if I get to just know how to say a few sentences, that's all I need. Because sometimes people need to hear you say those few lines for them to be like, hola, ¿cómo está? You see, it's like, that's all you need.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Oh, true. And like, you know, sometimes you get people who speak 2 languages or even 3 languages, and then maybe they, for example, they conversing with you in English, and English is not really their first language. And some words they will look for it and be like, what's the English word for this, you know? Or like, do you ever find yourself when you're speaking a different language and you're like, snap, I know the Xhosa word or the Tswana word or all of these words, but I don't know the word in this specific language. Do you ever get stuck like that, you know, or jumbled up where you speak, you find yourself, oh snap, because sometimes, or do ever the languages sound similar to each other, you know, that actually makes you make that mistake sometimes, you know, where you'll say 1 or 2 words, which is in a different language in your sentence.
I mean, it does, but rarely, you know, rarely. I feel like I tapped into languages a long time ago, and I'm fortunate enough to know most of the things I want to say, you know. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It does happen, because I'm still learning all these languages. Don't get me wrong, but it rarely happens. You know, not so often does it happen. I always have it. I always know what to say if I need to translate. So I guess I'm in a better position, man. You know, and if I don't know what to say, I ask. You have to ask. You have to find out, and not be comfortable with not knowing it. You have to find out.
True. Okay. Like, your vast vocabulary is like open opportunities for you for jobs as well. Has it ever saved before, where people's like, you could speak the language, and you're like, okay, cool. Thank God that I could speak this language. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been helped, or we would have probably gotten into trouble right now. Did you ever find it saving your life before?
Yeah, hell yeah. I used to work at a call center. I was on a learnership in 2019 till beginning of 2020. So I remember when on that call center, there's a Tsonga customer who actually called it sometime. She wanted to speak Tsonga, and the people that were on shift with me couldn't speak Tsonga. And I pretty much don't know that much Tsonga, but I'm able to hear and try to 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 at least respond in a manner that the next person will understand. And I managed to pull it off. They were so adamant to try to speak Tsonga only, like they don't want to speak nothing else. If you respond in English saying, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, I do not understand what," they'd be like, unlike bula English, da bula Tsonga na we. And then you're like, oh damn. So you have to figure this out. So luckily I was able to help out, and it saved us, man. You can imagine so many people that were on shift couldn't even speak Shitsonga at the time. Maybe the people that could were probably off or had knocked off at the time because it was a bit late when they called. So you can imagine how that could be a disadvantage to so many people. Even as an organization, if you have less people that could cater for different people from different cultures, that's such a disadvantage. So I'd say it really saved us at that time. And this other girl actually asked me, she was like, what language do you speak? Because I always hear you speak Zulu. Next day you speak Tsonga. Next day you speak Xhosa. Next day you speak Sepedi. It's like, what's your home language? I'm like, hey man, I'm just human. I'm just being human right now. I'm just being human right now. I can't say I'm Zulu, I'm Pedi, I'm Xhosa. I'm just being human right now.
Absolutely. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that,
yeah,
brother.
man.
Yeah. Okay, so the name Landrose, please
Yes.
describe how'd you get that name? What does it mean to you? So that every time we hear that name, we understand exactly who you are, where you're coming from, and that it means something to us as well.
Yeah. So Landrose, um, you ever heard the saying there's no rose without a thorn?
Yeah.
Pretty much speaks from the type of person I am. As much as we're all human, and it's like as much I wanted something that could resonate with me being um imperfect, knowing damn well I'm always gonna give out my best attitude. I'm always gonna give out positive attitude. I'm always gonna give out great energy, great lyricism, great music, but I have my thorns as well. So
True.
should it come to a point where I fail you, it doesn't mean I have failed you entirely. I have my own flaws as well. So it speaks to me being a person who always give out the best energy, the best music, the best of me. But if there's a time that I ever get to fail you, you need to understand that I'm human, because there is
Yeah.
no rose without a thorn. And that's how it is. So I chose to run with it. So
Mic
now,
drop.
speaking from the fact that I'm from the motherland, I had to find something to be like, because I'm from the motherland, how do I incorporate this whole rose without a thorn situation? So I'm like, from the motherland and a rose. Wait. Land rose. Ah, yes. That has a great ring to it, man. So I was like, yeah, I'll run with it. And ever since, it's been solid, man. It's been solid.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Honestly, nah. And it describes you. It describes you a lot. It means it's not just hey, it's a cool name. Threw it together. It sounded cool. It means something.
Yeah, true.
And it's gonna mean
True.
something to you. So, and
Yes,
tell us
sir.
about your upbringing. You grew up in Tembisa, and
Yes.
tell us. I want to know who were you before Landrose, before all of this stuff. What was your upbringing? What school did you go to? What was it like at home? Let me
Yeah.
know.
I mean, I grew up from it. I was raised in Tembisa. I actually moved, but I'm gonna start from here. Um, I grew up in Sangwe in Tembisa. There's a place called Sangwe. Stayed there. It was actually my grandma's place. Born and bred in Tembisa originally, and then we had to move um in 2000. I actually moved 3 times in my life. Moved in 2000 to go live with my uncle when my mom was still trying to hustle for a house. So we moved to a place called Gauteng, and yeah, man, ever since. So and then we moved later on. I personally moved later on because my mom was still trying to hustle for a house, and then I moved from Gauteng in 2007 from my uncle's place. Then I went to go live with my mom. And before the whole Landrose situation, I've always been known as Bongane. My name is Bongane. From school, people know me as Bongane. And I actually had a crazy upbringing coming from the fact that I used to be very, very, very. I used to be a very troublesome kid, if I should tell you, a very troublesome kid, bro. I used to be violent. I used to steal. Um, some of the things I could tell people. I used to be a bully. Let me tell you,
Oh,
most. I promise you, most of these things when you tell people right now, it's like it seems like it's the furthest thing from me. I don't even identify with all these things I've just mentioned because I think I've fought so much to develop and grow as an individual. And now I have become Landrose. So what Landrose represents is way too different from what I just exposed. And it's absolutely crazy. But it's like also I come from a background where, especially from the violent perspective and just all this mischief, I think it stems from growing in a household where I could be personal, right? It's okay if I could be personal. I mean, I don't
absolutely.
mind. I'm always open to just speaking. Cool. So I come from a
Oh,
household where we were living with a guy who was a stepfather to me. He was very abusive. Um, so he was very abusive towards me and my late mother. So that as a young kid, I figured it used to bother me enough that I had nobody to take it out on, especially at home, because it's like these are just grown-ups. So when I would go to school, when other kids would try to play with me, whether they being um a bit disrespectful, but you know how kids be. Kids will never pay attention to manners all the time. So it would always get to me quicker. And I had
yeah.
this crazy anger and a short temper, and I didn't even know it was where it was coming from. But as a young kid, it used to bother me a lot. And the more I started growing and I realized I had to change, it just made me realize that, you know what, this is not really me. It's all the things that I've been through, how I was treated back at home. I mean, my mom was like the absolute savior. I think she done saved me from a whole lot of things. And she's also the one that made me change. She's also the
Yeah.
one that made me change to become the person that I am and stop all this nonsense because I felt like what I went through with her, what that other guy put us through was just changing me as a young kid, especially a kid who's a guy. I can imagine how a female probably could have turned out. But as a guy, I also pretty much started being violent a lot more. I had a short temper. At school, I was a bully to a whole bunch of kids, and it wasn't really something. It's not even something I'm proud of, but it's like it's all in my past because right now I stand for something totally different. But it's like it really, really bothered me for a long time. But as soon as my mom cut ties with him, um, I spent a lot more time with her, and she actually showed me a different way to life. She
Yeah.
changed me. She gave me a different purpose. She allowed me to be myself, and she was very loving, man. I feel like right now she just made me the person I am. Like every single thing that I stand for right now is legit what my mom preached, legit what my mom gave me. If you see me treating somebody badly, trust me, I must be high on drugs or something because there's absolutely no way I can stand for something like that. So right now, a whole lot of people I come across always just speak of how great my energy is and how open I am and just how amazing of a person I am. And I'm just like, trust me, I give all the credit to my late mom, man, because I how I am right now, she's the person that turned me into Landrose. So
Yeah.
yeah, man, that's just pretty much how my upbringing was. But all in all, her just raising me as a single parent, really made me the person I am today. And I'm super, super thankful. I really wouldn't have it any other way. I feel like the way that I had it in my life, there's some of the things I would have loved to be different, but I feel like it was all in the process of building the person that I am. And I'm just
Yes.
super thankful that I had a loving mother who just raised me and trained me to be this type of person. And today I stand for a whole lot of great things. I am Landrose to people. I serve a whole lot more. And plus, I started making music in 2010, right? And she was very supportive of that. She was also a singer, by the way. She was also a singer. So she used to work at a hotel as a cleaner before she became like a chef. So
Yeah.
she was very, very open to singing a lot more. I remember when the tourists came in 2010 to explore the country, coming here for the vibes, for soccer.
Yeah.
She wrote she wrote songs for for
Yeah.
for for for, for the for the hotel, for the staff members, so that she could have a choir. So whenever tourists come through to stay over, they sing for them, you know. And at that time, I was witnessing everything live, but I wasn't taking it all in. Like I wasn't processing everything entirely. But
Yeah.
the older I grow, the more I realize, hey man, I took this whole thing from my mom. Back
Yeah.
then, I think I come from a background where I was like, because I was purely invested in hip hop, I was paying attention to rhymes and all that. I couldn't see how she was also influencing the whole musical journey in me. You know, I couldn't see how she was influencing me entirely. But it's like now when I got realized, damn, I always used to think because my mom wasn't rhyming, then she wasn't writing something. But nah, that's not how it goes. That's not how it goes, bro. She was a singer, bro. So with
Yeah.
her, it was like meaningful lyrics with 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 emotion, with
Mm,
bro, it was just a whole lot of excitement in it. But I was too young to understand. But now that I grow, I revisit my past memories and I'm just like, man, I cannot believe my mom legit got me in this position, bro. Like every when people listen to me, they feel like, bro, like you capture emotion so well. I'm like, trust me, bro. When I reminisce a lot, I feel like I find all the inspiration from all the memories I have of my mom. And that's
yeah.
everything I need. So yeah, man, today I stand for something totally different. Um, um, I never used to expose myself in high school, by the way. I started in 2010, but in high school, I never showed anybody what I do. I kept it to myself. So the only people that could hear or see that I rap were the ones sitting close to me in class. So I always used to write a lot more. When it was a
Yeah.
math period, I used to get bored a lot more because I hated math. So I felt like, oh,
Yeah.
God damn it. So whenever the teacher would step out for a few minutes, trust me, I'm closing the math book, I'm pulling out a page, I'm writing a few rhymes because that's what
Yeah.
kept me interested. That's what kept me sane. And I grew with it, man. And I only exposed it in 2015, which was my final year in high school. And I remember YFM had came to my school and it was Ankle Tap. I still remember Ankle Tap. They came through to broadcast live, and then they were
Yeah.
looking for kids who could actually sing or rap. And then they wanted to pin us against each other, like two rappers who would go toe to toe, and then the winner will get a hamper. Both of us would get hampers, but it's like they wanted to promote young talent. And I was
Yeah.
actually running late in that day. So when I came late, my friends actually saw me walk coming through towards the gate, and they're like, "Yo, come through." They pushed me forward right towards Ankle Tevin. It's like this is the guy. This is the guy. Because so many people were nervous. They didn't want to step up. So I was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, what's happening?" Like, they gave me a microphone and they said, "Well, we hear you're a great rapper, so you will stand a chance to win a hamper if you go toe to toe with someone else." And then I remember there's this other guy who also stepped it up, and we went against each other. Luckily, he went first. And while he was just impressing the crowd and all that, people were just looking at me like, this guy's always quiet. So having changed from the type of person I was, from the bully, the violent, the short temper type of guy, I then became uh, a quiet person, rather, a well composed kid. I sat in the back in my classroom. I never used to speak a lot more. I just started composing myself a lot more just to be like okay, I'm working towards something. I'm working towards being a better individual because I felt like not achieving that would mean I would disappoint my mom, and that was the one person I never wanted to disappoint. So that helped me to to keep the energy intact and just keep moving. So when I stepped up and I had the microphone, a lot of people were looking at me like, "What is he doing there?" Like, because they never knew that I could rap. Only the ones that sat close to me in my class would be like, this
Yeah,
guy is the
yeah.
one." So the first guy went on and on and on and on, and people were clapping for him. They were cheering for him, and plus he was rapping in vernac as well. He was rapping in
Oh,
vernac and mixing it in English. And at that time, I was only writing. I knew how to rap in vernac, but I was writing a lot more English at the time.
yes.
So when he was done, it was my turn now. And I'm just like, damn, okay. And I started going in, and I was rapping in English full time. Let me tell you, the whole damn school was so blown away, so much that I started getting a whole lot of girls, man. You do not want to know. It was absolutely insane. But luckily I was so disciplined. It was absolutely crazy, man. But it's like
Yeah,
a lot of people did not even know I had like that type of skill, because even during my high school years, like you would never find me anywhere, bro. When they would have talent shows, uh, I never used to go to the front and showcase my talent. I always kept it to myself because I felt like I never wanted to. I was never the type to want the attention. I felt like I
yeah,
needed to work on my craft before I could expose it to the public. I felt like I needed a lot more work on myself, and I feel like that absolutely helped me because now when I step out, I'm not worried about people's opinions. I done took a
yeah,
lot more time working on this. So when I serve you, I'm not asking for opinions. I know this is nice. So
yeah.
it's just right now finding the right market, finding the right target market for people to consume this content and enjoy. But I've worked so much on my crafts. I'm still working on my pen even till this day because I learned how to rap for the longest of time, but now I'm working how to compose music. It's
Mm.
different. A lot more people don't understand it, but it's different. So yeah, man, I'm in a better position now. And yeah, man, high school wrapped it up nicely in matric, and people were like, "Oh man, this guy is 1, 2, 3. This guy's amazing." And yeah, man, I started taking this whole thing seriously ever since. It was a hobby at some point because it was something that you could just rap to people and just showcase your talent. But it became something of importance and something I want to do for a long time or for the rest of my
Yeah.
life, especially from 2016. And then it became permanent in 2018. I just knew that, you know what, I'm doing this forever. And I've been running with it ever since, man. Even till this day, right now, I'm taking it step by step, but we're good, man. We're good. I'm running with it.
That's so wow, man. I love your story, and I love how I saw two things, in what you were in your story. I saw
Yeah,
I saw how you actually described your growth, like three
yeah,
phases.
yeah,
Phase,
yeah.
with trauma, experiencing the trauma, not knowing how to process it, and like taking it out, expressing it in a different kind of way, and then obviously
Mm,
like, no, this ain't right, let me go a bit quiet, let me work on myself and compose myself, and actually I want people to know me differently, and then it's this phase that you were working on. It's now okay, now I'm running with what I was working on, so you in that kind of
yeah,
phase. I picked up that, and also picked up the beautiful significance of your mother's influence in all of that. And I'm getting goosebumps now because as you were speaking about it, the image that I got in my mind is that the rose in Landrose is your mom. The top of
bro,
the top of it is actually your mom, And I was like,
bro.
that's what I pictured now in Landrose. I'm like, I see the name and everything, and then the rose coming up, and then the top of it, that's your mom right there, bro. That opening that rose. I was like, damn, she's actually the rose in Landrose. I was like, this is heavy, bro. And you just kept
Yeah,
on adding on. Now she influenced. Now it makes so much sense. So wow, man, that's actually beautiful. That
yeah.
it's not just your story. It ties her into your story as well. The name Landrose. So wow, man.
Entirely.
This
Definitely.
Big to that, man. And you say today you keep on going. So like, can you tell us what motivates you today? You know, what makes you so excited to write? What makes you want to tell a new story? What's the thing that keeps burning in your soul?
My experiences, my personal experiences. What I noticed is we go through a lot, man. We go through a whole lot of situations, and it's like what I've noticed growing up as an individual is that every single thing that I go through, someone somewhere out there is going through the same thing.
Absolutely.
Many people, by the way, there's a lot more people that could actually relate. I was raised by a single mom. There's a lot of people to relate, especially South Africans. They can definitely relate. When I tell stories about me, coming from a background where we used to live with a guy that used to abuse us, a lot of people then been through that. And I chose to become a better person because I never wanted to become the very same person I hated growing up, you know.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
I chose a different path. I chose to turn over a new leaf and become something of great examples, something the very opposite of what used to bother me. And I am very glad, man, that I've become this type of person, man, you know. So my everyday experiences and really inspire me to write. Not only just mine, even other people's stories. Like I have very close friends. I have people I consider family. Um, so obviously, when certain people go through certain things, when I care about them, what they go through also touches me. So I always think of how I could express it on their behalf, and even from my standpoint. There's a song that I released titled "I'm Over That."
Okay.
Please go look it up. It's on every streaming platform: iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, you name it, Google, YouTube. I wrote that song from that very same place that I came from. It's titled "I'm Over That." I was speaking about every single thing that I'm over. If
Yeah.
you done been through challenges where people used to abuse you, look, man, you need to get over that situation because it's gonna haunt you forever if you don't outgrow it, if you don't overcome those challenges. If your ex-girlfriend dumped you, you need to get over that because right now she's in a better position and it was probably for the best that you guys split up because what's not supposed to happen will not happen.
Yeah.
So you need to get over that for your own health, for your own mental health, for your own emotional stability, you know. So I speak about a whole lot of situations, you know. I'm just gonna recite a few bars from the second verse, just so people get to understand. I was like, yo, I found something that comforts me. I learned that peace is a clear image of luxury. I see the demon inside the people that come from me, but I never let the dark times humble me. And I learned that every time they throw a jab, you got to roll with punches. And if they talk about the past, then there's no discussion. Yeah, they going to try to make you mad, so ignore the rubbish because all the challenges you have are for overcoming. Oh, man, that's just part of the verse. You should listen to the whole thing. You should listen to the whole thing.
Finish
I
that.
speak about my past experiences and how I fought so hard to overcome many of those challenges and how I still try, even till this day, to overcome many of the things that some people throw at me. Because when I say I learned that peace is a clear image of luxury, I see the demon inside the people that come for me, but I
Yeah.
never let the dark times humble me. There's a whole lot of people that'll always have problems. There's a lot of people that will have problems with you as an individual in this world, man. You can stand for something absolutely amazing and absolutely positive, and there's people who will still try their absolute best to pin you down because what you stand for is something they're absolutely against. And I'm not gonna sit around and be like, yo, man, please take over. I am very much gonna give. No, hell no, that's not gonna happen. I'm always gonna fight. If somebody throws something at me, trust me, I'm always gonna fight back. I'm always gonna stand for something absolutely great, positive, and amazing. Because I feel like I'm in this world to stand for something absolutely amazing, and I'm gonna live up to it. And whoever tries to pull me back, I'm not gonna let them succeed. I'm not gonna let them succeed. I stand for greater things than what they throw at me. I stand
Yeah.
for greater things. So I'm not gonna let them. They can try to pull me back. They can only delay whatever process they think they are trying.
Yeah.
If they're trying to pin me down, they can only delay my movement. But trust me, they're not gonna stop it. You're not
Yeah.
gonna stop it. I am still
Yeah.
moving. I'm not on a treadmill. I am legit done walking. I am running right now. I am
Yeah.
running a crazy marathon. So yeah, man, that's what I stand for. That's what I stand for right now.
Bro, I mean, I just keep on as you're speaking. I keep visualizing what I have a very active imagination. So like as you the moment is like the more they pull you back, it just gives you more. And I'm picturing you on a slingshot. They're pulling you back. They think they're pulling you back, but they just revving you up to fly. The minute they can't hold you anymore, that's when you fly, and you fly further than they thought they would have pulling you back. Because they pull you back
Yes,
from
sir.
here point. You go as far as here, and you fly further than the point. You know what I'm saying? So now
Yes,
that's
sir.
dope, man. Respect, respect, respect. And in your journey, what would you say is your biggest lesson that you've learned?
Um, musically or life in general.
Give us both.
Um, my biggest lesson.
Yeah,
What would I say? Be good to people.
yeah.
Be good to people. This applies both musically and life in general. Treat people well. Treat people how you want to be treated. It is very important. Be good to people, man. It doesn't matter if, sorry, it doesn't matter if you come across as it's a stranger or as a person. Be very good to people. You have no idea how that could work to your advantage. Be
Mm,
very, very genuine to people. Always have genuine intentions. The one thing right now that always stays in my head is to not allow people to turn me into something I never want to become.
mm,
So I will always fight to keep this identity. There's plenty of people that could actually pull you and um, bother you and just throw things at you to make you something or someone you do not want to become. Fight that. You stand for something absolutely amazing. You have a lot more to benefit when you do good than when you do bad.
yeah.
You have
Wow.
a lot more to benefit when you do good than when you do bad. So keep that in mind and keep that in your heart. And also protect your heart and keep your mind in a safe place. This world can get crazy sometimes, both in life, both musically. When you're a creative, you always need your mind to be intact. You need to be able to think properly all the time. Some situations will pull you down. Some situations will make you feel like you should give up. It could be people sometimes. You never know. And a whole lot of people, there'll be people that don't believe in what you're doing, and there'll be people that don't want you to spread your message because somehow it stands against what they believe.
Yeah,
But if it's a good thing that you stand for, run with it. Do not let nobody tell you you don't stand for amazing things because trust me, there's a reason you had to start in the first place. So you have to see to it that you finish it. Do
yeah,
not give up. Challenges will always be there. If there weren't any challenges, it wouldn't be worth having. It would not be worth having. So go through the challenges, even when it's tough. If you're not dead, then it means it's not hard enough.
yeah,
If
yeah,
you're not
yeah.
dead, it means you can still run with it and you can still do it. That's all it is. So be good to people, be good to yourself. So you will always attract the right energy. You will always attract blessings. I mean, I've been through a whole lot of crazy situations, but I look at my life sometimes and I'm like, I am so glad I've been giving out good energy to so many people and I've been making sure I treat people well. So many of my blessings come from me being genuine to people and being good to them. So many, bro, in
Yeah.
so many aspects of life. So it's like if you always keep that in mind and run with it, I promise you, you have a lot more to benefit than when you
Yeah.
do bad to people. And that's all you need. That's all you need,
I love that. I honestly love that. You got way more to benefit when you do good than as opposed to doing bad to people. I love that. I love that.
without a
You know?
doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah.
and um you mentioned that your mother, she played a huge role, in terms of your influence and your guidance. And
Yes.
what would you say who else played a role as a mentor in your life in terms of maybe musically or any other aspect that you feel that you recognize someone as a mentor?
Chris Brown.
Oh yeah,
I'll be very honest. A lot of people, well, if you're a fan of Landrose, you must know by now he's a big fan of Chris Brown. um, and I say this to say he went through a crazy, crazy moment in his life. Um, he he made a mistake. He was very young.
yeah,
But also, if you read into what he's been through in his life, when he was growing up, he shared. We probably share similar experiences. He also
yeah,
had a stepfather who was very abusive in his life. And I remember there was this documentary that I was watching of his, and he was speaking about how the guy used to abuse him and his mother, and how he hated the guy, and how that resentment built up as he was growing up. And this one time, he once told his mother that when he grows up, he's going to the guy, you know, and that that spoke volumes, and how that made him have a short temper, because it's like when you grow used to seeing someone violate the closest person to your heart, that makes you have a that troubles you, man, especially as a kid, because you become most of the things that you keep seeing from your childhood days. um
yeah,
and he had a very short temper, which led to him doing a terrible mistake earlier on in his career, and he's been fighting that battle ever since. So when he spoke about it openly, he spoke about how the biggest regret, or the biggest thing that actually brought pain to his heart, was the fact that he saw himself becoming the very same person he hated when he was young.
yeah,
And that really bothered him for a long time. So, me listening to that and just looking at how phenomenal he is, how amazingly gifted he is just insane, because I feel like we have a similar story. And I managed to fight my demons earlier on, and I'm still fighting them even till this day, because it's not like I've gotten over everything entirely. Some things still bother me, but I choose to stand for something absolutely good for my own benefit. By the way, I have two little sisters, which I did not mention. So they need a better role model, they need a better role model in their lives. So I stand for that. When they look at me, they need to look at somebody they 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 should easily want to communicate with and be open to and trust in and love and believe in. So yeah, man, he's been such a also a great, the furthest but amazing mentor in life as well. Because even when I listen to his music, I hear a lot of emotion in it, and I
yeah,
connect on a heavy level. Most people be like, "Oh man, Chris Brown makes music for females, man. He sings about this and that." How do you? Let me tell you, man, it's not just sexual things that he sings about. You listen to him; he's got so many songs that capture your emotion, and I just so happen to relate a lot more to that guy. And I listen to him to also find peace. I love listening to his music. So I can say he's also one other mentor. There's a lot of people I could speak of. I've been fortunate enough to have great people that come into my life for the right reasons, and that give me positive energy. I can't mention all of them because I can't mention all of them because it's a long list, but they
yeah,
are in my life right now. People
yeah,
that are in my life and are contributing in a very, very positive way. Definitely. Every single one of them helps me to become this person and maintain the good that I have in me and never lose it. Yeah. Yeah, man. Definitely. Definitely.
um so I would like to know in your journey, what event would you consider to be a setback? That was kind of like a setback for you, that you felt like, wow, this is kind of like a major setback. I don't know if I go forward as Landros, do I pull the plug here, or what's going on? This phase is actually confusing. This is actually a two-part question. And what
Yeah.
advice for any young NC that might experience what you've experienced, and what advice do you give to them to get out of that? and keep going.
Yes. My biggest setback um was me being inconsistent.
Mm,
So when you choose to follow a dream, you have to follow it this, like you are actually late for a 9 to 5. You have to wake up early in the morning and quickly rush because if you're late, your manager will shout at you or just, you know, you have to treat it like a 9 to 5, like like you're actually going to get paid at the end of the month. Now you need to know when you choose to follow a dream, at first, the process won't be easy. You won't get paid every single month. You will encounter a whole lot more challenges than you expect. And look, man, when people acknowledge you and they show you love, no matter how many challenges you have, always fight to be consistent. If it's content that you are working on, creative content, always make sure that you always have content lined up for the consumers to always keep your name in their minds and in their hearts, because that's the biggest and greatest way for you to find growth. Right now, we are in a generation that allows anybody to be a creative. So creatives are actually flooding the entertainment industry. So
yeah,
you need to be consistent with your greatness. Do not give yourself time to slack. It
yeah,
does not matter how amazingly talented you are. If you're not consistent, you're going to get beat by people who are consistent but rather less talented. Because if talent does not work hard, then hard work beats talent. It's very simple. It's very simple.
another rhyme name like
It's
it
very
down.
simple, So I'd say be very consistent. Do not allow inconsistency in your life. It is very bad. In every single aspect, for you to find growth, make sure that you are consistent with everything that you do. It'll help you entirely. When you follow a dream, make sure that you treat it like a 9 to 5. It'll
Mm,
pay you just as much and even more than a 9 to 5.
yeah, respect.
That's it. That's it from my end.
I
That's it.
love that so much, because usually when people think of setbacks, they always think of something that happened to them, This time,
Mm,
this happened to me. And immediately, in the way that you responded, I could hear that you took accountability. You're like, it was me
yes.
not being consistent. So I love the fact
Yes.
of accountability. It was you playing the role of like, no, I know for a fact that it was something that I wasn't
Yes.
doing. And the advice that you're giving is powerful and it's true. I've had this conversation
Mm,
so many times. The people's like, is hard work versus talent, hard work versus
yes.
talent. And like you said, and you just put it in a perfect way now, in a rhyme. And just say that again, please. What did you say about your talent hard or your talent will work hard for you? Wait, what did you say?
Yeah, man. I mean, like you have to work super hard because if you don't work hard, if even if you're talented, if you do not work hard, then hard work will beat talent. That's why you will find certain artists that are said to not be greater than others, but always play on TV. You always hear them on radio. It's simply because they work hard. They might not be super talented than others, but they work harder than the talented ones. So now that's why they will always shine. So your talent here will not save you. You need to be consistent and work super hard, super hard. And don't forget to be smart because at the end of the day, as much as it's a talent, it's you being creative. It is a business as well. There's
Yes.
plenty ways that you could be strategic to getting yourself paid. I could probably count at least 8 ways for you to get paid if you're a creative. And that's like
Yeah.
the least I can count. I haven't explored others, but I know at least 8 ways for you to get paid, you know?
Yeah.
And it might not be something that'll pay you entirely right now, but it's like the more you build, the more you explore all these options. So work hard, be consistent, be creative, and make sure that you are smart enough to know and understand what you're getting yourself into. And that's it, man. I'm pretty much learning myself. I'm just
Yeah.
sharing the few things that I know of. But yeah, that's all I can share right now. It's like it's a never ending journey. You constantly need to keep learning.
Landrose, I mean, I love talking to you, man, and I love your journey, and I love the work that you produce as well, and I love your
Yeah.
dedication to always share something positive, I know we're hearing about your journey, but it feels like a motivational thing, like a motivational conversation, And I know a lot of
Yes,
people are inspired, even just by you telling that, yeah, this is where I grew up and all this stuff. I'm like, even just your idea with the language of how you want to connect with different people and how you do actually reach different people. It's just a line. It's such a beautiful thing. I feel like it's your
yeah,
superpower. We're always going to set you apart from everyone. And that's always going to keep you in your lane. And no one can really, compare you really. You're always going to have a lane to eat. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
And
yeah, yeah, true.
of people recognizing you and bringing opportunities forward to you. But as
Yes.
what you have to offer, my man, it's amazing. And keep going, and I salute you. I have two more
Thank you so
questions.
much.
We wrap
Of
this
course,
up,
of course, of course.
Much love. I have two more questions before we wrap this up. And like I said, I've been having such a really good time. I wish we could talk more longer or have another interview sometime. Maybe in the future. About me
Most
when you're big,
definitely.
when you're extremely big. Don't forget about me, bro.
You can hold me to it, man. You can hold me to it. I got you.
All right, listen. So I'm dying to know with the way that you think and what you and how you construct your music, and just the type of person that you are and what you bring out to people. I would love
Yeah.
to know what would be your best album. If you were to make a really good album, what would be your best album, and what would be the title of it, and who would you feature on your album?
Um, it would be the title of the album would be my mother's name. That's already in my plans, obviously. So don't be surprised. I'm too quick to respond. It's already in my plans. The title of the album would be my mother's name. It would feature Chris Brown first. It would feature Mam Rebecca Malope. Um, I would also love Loiso to be part of it because I feel like he's an amazing vocalist. He's an amazing singer. Um, I would love Nasty C to be part of it because I feel like he's also amazing. He's an amazing rapper.
Yes.
And last but not least, I've got two more people. Alessia Cara. I'm not sure if you know her, but if you
Yes.
don't,
I love a song here. Woo! I love a song
listen,
here.
man. She's one of my absolute favorites. I promise you. From vocals to pen, the pen. Come
No,
on with
dude,
it, man.
it's
Oh my
dope.
gosh, she is absolutely amazing. Um, and then I would have Joyner Lucas.
Ooh,
I-
nice.
man, I'm t-
Yeah.
it's Chris Brown, it's Joyner Lucas, it's Nasty C, it's Mama Rebecca Malope, it's Loiso, it's Alessia Cara.
Yeah.
That would be a killer album. And I
Definitely.
really do see myself bringing that to life. Um,
Yeah.
provided that I stay consistent and I keep to my promises. Um, listen, man, nothing is impossible. I pro- I know damn well, man, nothing is absolutely impossible. I do see myself bringing that to life, and when it does, I just hope this interview will be enough motivation. I
Bro,
really hope this interview will
bro,
be enough motivation.
bro. I was gonna say
Yeah.
remember you said it on my show. At the album launch. I want
Yeah,
to introduce you. Ladies and
bro,
gentlemen, bars, ladies and gentlemen. I want to be there. I want to be there.
that
That's
must
a
be the that must be one of the best albums of all time globally. I promise you, man. Because the way I am going to take my time to craft that album and just how important it is to me and what it means to me,
mm,
absolutely amazing.
wow.
Absolutely amazing.
Landrose, you blowing my mind, brother. I feel like I want to hang out with you already. Drive to where you are now and just hang out. But I'm just playing town and you're probably in Joburg, so that's not gonna happen tonight.
Obviously, yeah, most def. But definitely in the future. Might be in the near future, man. You never know. You never know.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, my final question for you, brother. And this is the question that I ask each and every guest, and I love this question. So I'm gonna put you in a time machine, right? And I
Ooh.
want to dial it back to a time of a younger version of yourself. Now you can pick the time, But I'm thinking maybe you'd pick the time of like the very troubled young version of you, a time when you needed
Ooh,
some guidance and advice, and it's the
yes,
version of
yes.
you today, having walked the journey that you've walked, having done all the mistakes, having done all the achievements, the wisdom and all of that stuff. It's the version of you today, having 5 minutes only to speak to the younger version of yourself and to give him some guidance or some advice or some upliftment words of upliftment. What would that be?
What would I say, huh? Keep that heart. Keep the same heart throughout your whole life. It is going to help you. It is really going to help you. Keep the same heart. Always be true to yourself and keep the same mentality. The fact that you never wanted to be part of a gang or be in groups or, do crazy things for attention, keep that mentality. And also the fact that you took your time to craft and nurture and just develop this skill. That's all the time. That's all you need. You don't have to rush yourself. The world is not rushing you. You know, this is music, by the way. So you're gonna have to really, 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 really give it your best shot. So keep the same heart, keep the same mind. You're on the right path. And also, don't be too hard on yourself. You can only do things to a certain extent. So learn that some things are not in your control. You know, you will not be able to control everything, and some things you cannot change. You just have to learn to adapt to some situations to make your life better. Don't be against change. Understand that some things happen for a reason, and although it may be painful, just make sure that you keep your heart and your mind in a safe place, and that'll help you to go through life in the most amazing way. So I would probably say that stay disciplined, stay sharp. There's amazing things waiting for you in this world. If you could just be disciplined enough to get yourself in that position, trust me, you will do amazing things. And whatever you choose to follow, be consistent because you will need that in the long run. And that's it, man. Might not be 5 minutes or long, but I would pretty much say that to my young self. And yeah, man, I know damn well that would help me because even for
Mm,
me to change, it had to take a situation that touched me in my
mm.
heart. And I vowed to be a great son to my mom. And I vowed to be the best person she could ever have in her life. I don't care if she had a sister, she had a mother, I would be the best person she ever had in her life. And I'm
Ah,
glad, and I believe I lived up to that long enough to, long enough for her to see it before she passed away. So yeah, man, I would definitely say all those things to my younger self. Yeah.
respect to you, brother. I salute you from the bottom of my heart, from artist to artist, from brother to brother. You are true inspiration, my man. You are really true inspiration. And like I said, I didn't need to hear so many things about you. That first song that I saw, couple of seconds, Dead Boys Prada, that's a good outfit. What? Going into it, and then all of that, and then like even you walking in the ghetto, my man. I mean,
Bro,
now like
bro.
really getting to learn you, you learn about you, like the man behind all of that. It means so much more now when I look at your work and when I look and listen to your stuff. So because I know where it's coming from, I know the person behind that lyrics, what he's saying,
Mm,
what he's trying to give. It's not just
yeah.
dope anymore, it's not just fresh, it's inspirational now. So thank you so much, man. Thank you for everything. I love this chat with you. I hope you enjoyed it too. And if there's anything that you feel like I didn't give you the opportunity to share and you want to share that, please do so now.
Um, Damn, man, you really gave me such an open platform to voice out anything. I was very comfortable, very open. I would be lying. I'm trying to think of something, but the fact that it's not coming quickly means I
Yeah,
pretty much said everything, you know?
yeah,
I pretty much said everything.
All right. Okay, then one
Yeah.
love to you, brother man. And I look, I'm gonna stay close. You know, I love your music, and I want to see more of your music, and I want to see that best album come out one day, and it's gonna happen. We manifest
Bro,
it, believe in
I
it. You
swear to
believe,
God.
and your fans believe in it too. Thank you so much, man. A big shout out to you. Real quick, can you please give us all your social handles and where can we find your music as well?
Of course, man. It's at Landrose on social media, your Instagram, Landrose underscore, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, yeah, Landrose on Facebook, Landrose on YouTube, Landrose on every streaming platform, YouTube, Spotify, Deezer, Apple, iTunes, Landrose everywhere. Yeah,
Love. Thank you so much, brother. Like I said, I
it's
appreciate
been a pleasure.
everything. You're a symbol of inspiration now in my eyes and to so many more people. So one love to you, and I'm gonna say a very good night to you.
Thank you so much, man. You have a very, very blessed night, man. It's been amazing. It's been amazing. Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Chill out, man. Bring us that fire the next time we see you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. That's it from Landrose, and that's it from me. We're wrapping it up now. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Price of Fame. The consistent people that keep the channel growing, I love you. I see you, and thank you so much. If you want to catch me on Facebook, you can catch me at Lunga Chuka the Energizer Funny. That is Lunga Chuka the Energizer Funny. On Instagram, you can catch me at Lunga Chuka. That is at Lunga Chuka. And if you're looking for exclusive snippets of The Price of Fame Season 1 and Season 2, you can catch it on Instagram at Price of Fame ZA. The Price of Fame ZA. And for those of you who prefer the audio versions of all of these episodes, you can go to Anchor FM, Spotify, and as well as Apple. Then you can listen to these conversations. You'll find Season 1 all through to Season 2. And then you can also catch me on YouTube at Lunga Chuka. And I will get all the episodes from the extended episodes from season 1 right through to season 2 of this magnificent show. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. But tonight and to now, and right about now, it's time for me to sign off. So thank you so much. My name is Lunga Chuka. I've been your host, and this is The Price of Fame.